And we are live. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, and welcome to the David Starlyte Show. I'm a little bit late today, and how is everyone? Welcome to the show. Just taking a deep breath. It's been a lot of moving parts, a lot of stress in the world. I'm just trying to move some things. I've got a lot of stuff behind me. Maybe I'll move that slightly up. A lot of intense energies in the world, the blood moon. Let me see if I can shift this down. That's a little bit better. A lot of moving parts, shifting realities, intense energies culminating in this kind of February, March energy. March is an intense month, and you can feel it. It's like a fire has been lit in the worldwide consciousness. So our nervous system needs tender loving care, needs softness. So welcome to the show, Marianne. How are you? How are you experiencing the energies? Did you see them? Have you seen the moon? It is a beautiful blood moon. And a reminder that during this broadcast, you can support my page by sending stars, a digital gift that helps me to earn money. So a lot of intense energies going on. It is the energy of war. Nobody wants it, or maybe some want it, but most of us normal people do not want war. However, it is part of the 3D reality, or at least it has been. I don't believe that these types of energies are necessary in the long term, but sometimes perhaps we need that kind of conflict energy. Sarah says, I saw the moon, set my alarm so I could see it. Pretty cool. So welcome to Sarah Ford, and great to see you, Sarah. How are you? So there's just so much going on with the world at the moment, and I feel like a Buddhist, inside Buddhist oracle is really going to help us to calm our nervous system, see what's really important to us, what is most important in our lives, not just what's going on in other countries and what's on the media, but day-to-day realities, appreciating what we have, and picking some oracle cards from the Buddhist oracle deck. We have a true spiritual life is not possible without a generous heart. So that's a reminder to be generous, to offer to other people, to offer our love services. It can be in the form of money, of gifts, of whatever it is that shows kindness, that shows love, that shows a beautiful open heart towards other people, a sense of being an open vessel, an open vehicle to offer others our goodwill, our bounty, our abundance. So very much compassion in action. That's the card that's coming out. The message from the Buddha is coming out in times like these. Give to others, give services. As I said, dana is the Buddhist term. Helping the poor, helping people suffering, helping our loved ones. This is a time for service, for giving, and it can be in any form, in any way, shape, or form, any possible approach. And also understanding that part of this war energy is an inflated desire, which is part of the ego expression. So the Buddha taught that part of the root of suffering is this relentless desire. Excessive desire cause suffering, cause ill health, cause these kind of conflict energies. The steady stream of human desires are directing us away from the beauty of the present moment. So this card reminds us to come into the present moment, not fantasizing about some unknown future or unobtainable future, not obsessing about the past that was never perfect, it was never how we wished it to be. Appreciating what we have right now, what life is offering us in this moment to moment. Welcome to Dao Blount, and where are you in the world? And Welcome to the show. Hello. What will your message to the world be? What will my message to the world be? Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath, slow down, focus on the goodness, on contributing goodness to the world, small acts of kindness, of service, of love, of compassion for other beings. Not just human beings, but animals, of nature, taking care of nature as a custodians of nature, taking care of plants. They are conscious too. So we're not just talking about human beings. We're just part of this Gaia, Mother Gaia energy, part of the consciousness of the planet. But we are not. We're the predators on the planet, so we cause the most harm. That is for sure. But any other species that becomes too abundant, too successful, will also override the normal balance of nature. So it's not just that human beings are bad. We good and bad. We have all of it in us. All we have the shadow side. We have all aspects of humanity within us. Mine will be, I hope everyone has a good long life. That's a beautiful message, and I definitely endorse that as well. Thank you for that message, Rick. What does Rick say? Peace sells, but who's buying? Peace sells, but who's buying? I don't know what that means, Rick. Peace sells, but who's buying? Don't understand what you mean. What will your Tao Blount? What will your message to the world be? My message is love. Come back to love. It sounds simplistic. It sounds, a little bit prosaic, or what's the word? Sounds could even be a superficial to say love, but really that's the essence. Coming back to the heart of love is the core of what my message is. So that is amazing. Sarah saw the moon. How beautiful. Marianne says, saw the planets align when it happened too cloudy to see the eclipse. Sylvie says, hi. How are you, Sylvie? I'm doing good. Thank you. How are you? So we're here live. I'm coming to you from Australia, the Great Barrier Reef. It's a little bit grey today. We had a lot of rain overnight, and it's monsoon season. Monsoon season here in Australia. So we do have this war conflict energy, which is affecting us all. It's quite a heavy, dark energy. And I am here to raise a consciousness and bring a little bit of love, a little bit of maybe quirky humor into this darkness, so we can lighten up a little bit and not take ourselves or our life too seriously. Sylvie's doing well. That's great to hear, Sylvie. And know that we've got this. We're here as souls to be here right now. We've chosen to be in this moment. Some of us are old star seeds or retired star seeds. We've been here a long time. Some of us are called into action on the front line of the spiritual war, and some of us are in the background doing acts of love and devotion and loving kindness. So it doesn't matter where you are in the spiritual war. You're here for a purpose in this world to help manifest a greater consciousness, a higher consciousness, a higher awareness. But we're still going through what we are going through. So we're not here to bypass the human realities of our life, but we're here to offer hope, offer trust, offer kindness, offers something that can raise the energy of the world. And really, we don't need to be complicated. Keep things really simple. And sometimes it's just a simple act of kindness, a simple act of love, self-love. We need to have the self-compassion as well as out inward as well as outward. Everything is valid, not just what we're expressing to others, but also what we expressing to ourselves, the words that we quietly tell ourselves when no one's watching, the things we say to ourselves secretly when nobody can hear. So there is a card coming out from the Starseed Oracle deck, which is encouraging that it's saying the world is getting activated. The energies are coming alive. There's a shape shift happening in terms of the earth being activated. It's a card that's reminding us that there is a type of acupuncture in the earth energies. So the human body has these acupuncture energy centers, meridians, the nadis, whatever you want to call them. There are biochemical, electrochemical systems that work through the body. We are biochemical, electrochemical life force. So these are real, they're condensed, and these centers flow through our body, and they can be activated by the acupuncture needles, by acupressure, for instance, by energy work, qigong. But the earth has them too. The earth has ley lines. It's got its own intelligence. So how do we give acupuncture to the earth? Well, we plant trees, we plant things with love. We water them, we care of them, we take care of them. And when you go to certain ley lines, you can feel the power, they're activational. And I've just seen Kimberly K, welcome to the show. Great to see you, Kimberly. Where are you, Kimberly? Let me know where you are in the world. And anyone else who's online, let me know where you are. Rick said peace sells, but who's buying? Where are you, Rick? And Kimberly, where are you? So the activated earth, the ley lines, these are pathways that are invisible along the land. Energy travels along these ley lines. They can be sensed when we tune into them. They're subtle centers. You can think of them as spiritual paths. Often when you're hiking, you may feel these energy centers. And they've been compared to the acupuncture or the meridian lines of the body, as I already said, which has been explored in Chinese medicine. We have sacred sites where those energies are particularly strong. They can be stone circles, burial sites, and places of worship all over the world. Sylvie's in Canada. Marianne says that was the premise of the show, Charmed, as to where the house was placed. That's awesome. And Kimberly's in Massachusetts, USA. That's a lot of S's. I guess you have 4 S's, yeah? Lots of S's in Massachusetts. And so the Australian Indigenous culture, the First Nations people, they had song lines where paths were traveled by creative beings as they made the land and sea during the dreaming. They call it the dreaming. These paths were recorded in the traditional songs and dances of the people, allowing them to access information about the land's history and to travel safely across vast distances. So the song lines, the dreaming, very beautiful indigenous culture. Many believe that as we visit such sacred points on earth, something is activated within us. Some also believe that by connecting with the land and devotion at these sacred places, the earth is activated too. So going through these places activates the earth, especially when we put down intention, when we put down prayer, when we put down even crystals. There's certain rituals that we can do that can activate the energy. Some people burn white sage, Palo Santo. There's multiple things we can do as practices. Are you being called to visit one of these sacred places? Perhaps your soul remembers, your soul is calling you to the land, calling you back home to honor and acknowledge the places known and unknown, the keepers of the land, the nature spirits of the land. And as you connect with the earth, sending love and nourishment, appreciating the fruits that the earth provides us. And this is supporting the spiritual awakening. So when we take care of the earth, we support the spiritual awakening of the planet. It happens in synergy, symbiotically, synergistically. It happens together, this kind of co-creation and collaboration and growth. Carlos says, hi, Debbie. Hi, David. How are you? Shared. Welcome to the show, Carlos. How are you? Did you see the blood moon? Did you see the eclipse? How are you feeling generally? And I think Kimberly, we said hi. Kimberly said hello. Marianne said that. Okay, just catching up with messages. And welcome to the show, Carlos. Welcome, Sylvie. Carlos didn't see the full moon. The intense energies happening on this planet, and not just energetically, but cosmically speaking. And what do you think about the war energies? Is it a clearing? Is it a cleansing? There is a lot of darkness over those lands. There's a lot of oppression of the Iranian people, a lot of oppression of women, large amount of oppression of women. So it's definitely dangerous territory entering wars. But I wouldn't say, I would rather say little, and keep the vibration of love and support for all people. May they see the light, may they come to the light, may they find love in their hearts. Because people who oppress women, people who oppress women, there is something disconnected within them. There's a self-hatred. There's something that perhaps came through their relationship with their mother. Perhaps they weren't able to have a good relationship with their mothers, but maybe that's getting overly Freudian. There are certain traditions we all come from in the history with the witch hunts, these dark oppressive forces that fought against women, fought against the divine feminine. The earth is made up of divine feminine energies, so it's like fighting against God or fighting against the divine. It's something nihilistic. It's kind of has to come from some kind of self-hatred, some kind of delusion of trying to dominate over life itself. The bringers of life are the women on the planet, the fertile vessels for life. So any oppression is a type of antipathy, a type of rejection of life itself, a rejection of God, a rejection of the divine. Philip says, hi, David. I enjoy listening to like-minded people, and wonderful to see you on the show, Philip. Where are you in the world? Welcome to Philip. Carlos says, crazy. And Carlos always makes me smile. Whatever you say, Carlos, you always make me smile. So anyone want a card or want me to discuss a certain topic? I think what I would like to discuss is the importance of energy hygiene. We are energetic beings, and it's important that we clear our energy. One way to do it is to go into a vessel of water. And said societies are judged on how the least of these are treated: children, animals, women. The Islamic prophet had a lot of anger. He wasn't initially accepted as a messenger. There's definitely a lot of war in that particular tradition. I haven't studied it too much. And we don't really know with these religions what is true and what isn't true, what is revealed to the people and what is secret. We don't always know. They're these figures, and did they really exist? They certainly didn't exist in the form that we know them in terms of historical record. It's quite murky who these figures are. Often they're composite figures or combination of things. It's so interesting and textured. What is the actual truth of our religious traditions? Where do they really come from? And there's been a huge amount of corruption, a huge amount of control, a huge amount of fear, and a huge amount of oppression with all the major religions. Absolutely. So interesting, Marianne. I think what you meant was vulnerable. I wouldn't say that, when you said the least, I think you mean the vulnerable, especially, when we see how we treat children, animals, and women. That really reflects a level of virtue, a level of understanding of the world, how we are part of the world. And it really disrespects our own history because we all come from a mother, we all come from a child. So it's like disrespecting, cutting yourself off from yourself. If you disrespect a child or disrespect a woman, that's our source. That is our source. And animals they cannot speak. They cannot speak, but they can feel. They do feel. So if we disrespect or harm animals, that's very cruel. And what does that say about a person who's cruel? So having kindness is so important, and virtue and signals exactly what we are in the world. If you're cruel to an animal, it really reveals your nature. And we all have that darkness in us. We all have that shadow self. So bringing love and compassion to each one of us. I believe animals have souls like humans. Well, the one source, the one force is part of all beings. It's part of all beings. And the human soul, people say that is unique. Philip, I agree. People say the human soul has a uniqueness in the earth, but animals do have a type of soul for sure. If soul is real, soul is another word. What does it mean, the soul? Because in the Buddhist tradition, soul is not a concept they particularly resonate with. They see us as part of the oneness, part of the interbeing. So we're interwoven with all of creation. So our personality is kind of causes and conditions. It's kind of a borrowed expression. Call it an expression of life or expression of the divine, but it's not a permanent essence. So interesting when we use the biblical language. Sylvie would like a card. So Sylvie, let's have a look here. All right, Sylvie. So I'm getting just shift your narrative, shift your inner narrative, develop a little bit more patience, and let go of some of the things you're pursuing with I would say just be patient, Sylvie. It's like, I would call it a grasping kind of energy. And I think we all experience that. It's kind of normal, whether it's financially, whether it's romantically, whether it's in any context, even spiritually. People sometimes are grasping onto some kind of result, some kind of goal, some kind of external validation, some kind of exterior manifestation, or it can be an interior manifestation. So that card is reminding you, just slow down. Patience will give you more freedom. Free your mind of any desires, relinquish those desires, and allow timelessness of space and being to affect your knowingness. So it's more of a substantial spiritual card that says there's too many cords pulling you into directions that nothing wrong with those directions, it's just pulling you. So calm that down, develop patience, develop a sense of non-attachment. And I'm just catching up. So we said, okay, I will be more patient. Philip says, I recently detached myself from outcomes, enjoy the journey. And this is really beautiful, Philip, and it really frees us up. Because what we so often do is fear, fear, fear. And it creates often inaction because we fear the result. What happens if I do this? And you know, what happens if, in any context, what happens if I invest in this and I lose money? What happens if I start a new business and it fails? What happens? What happens if all these kind of ideas that break apart us from the flow of life, they remove us from the connectivity, from the oneness essence that is all around us, the sense of life force energy, which is a divine flow. So detaching oneself from outcomes, very powerful for practice, very powerful practice, Philip. And do you do that intentionally with your consciousness? Do you have a particular practice that you apply? Do you just mentally go, well, I'm going to do this with freedom without worrying what's going to happen? I'm interested to hear more. I think it's a beautiful philosophy to approach life with. Marianne says, card please, what's coming up in my project? Success, obstacles, Mercury retrograde complication. And I'm just reminded of what Philip said, Marianne, detaching from outcomes and enjoying the journey. If you are detached, then it doesn't really matter, But I understand that we're part of the human experience, and we may be spiritual warriors, but we're not necessarily all going to get to the type of Buddha energy, and not everyone is here to have that experience. So the Buddha was here as a pillar and a role model and an example. However, it's not a type of energy everyone's here to experience that. And we all have a type of soul contract, soul journey, but we also have free will. We're not stuck into we don't have to be stuck into certain narratives or forever patterns. We can always break patterns, shift patterns in an alchemy with our free will intention. We can blast away patterns that perhaps kept us stuck in the past. Let's see. I missed your message. I believe animals have souls like humans. Then, if they have a soul, then Rainbow Bridge is their heaven. So definitely, this word heaven, it's also very misunderstood, but the world to come, this essence, people do report seeing their animals, their pets, their animals they connected with. They do report seeing them with NDE, NDE, near-death experiences. Those often report that kind of information, which implies that animals are around. They are around us, and it makes sense that they would be connected or retain connection. If you spend years of your life with an animal, then you're choosing each other. You're choosing each other. There's a soul choice happening that you're both choosing. Marianne and Philip, we were asking Philip about the detachment. I stopped making goals. I live in the moment, not the past, not the future. present. And that is the presence is a present. It is a gift. So it's amazing. Some words have these incredible meanings or hidden meanings or surface meanings or revealed meanings or just obvious double meanings, where we have the present is the present. It's an amazing thing. How does that work? Only one project is super critical, but it affects another person. No judgment here, Marianne. We're just going along different pathways and exploring consciousness here. I miss my dog, Nico. I hope to see him again one day. So beautiful, Kimberly. Your dog, Nico, I feel he's with you, actually. He's with you in spirit. So we have the animal spirits that do come to us. So we can call them in and they do follow us. And so, Sylvie, I will be more patient. I'm just going to pick another card for you, Sylvie. I'm going to follow up on this card for you. The energy is clearing the energy. So it's saying there's got to be more spaciousness, almost like a cosmic womb. There's got to be more spaciousness for you. And it says, you can imagine this in your mind. You can bring this forth into your imagination, the sense of spaciousness or void. Fertile void is what I'm getting, Sylvie. This sense of opportunity, possibility, openness. So that's a beautiful card reminding you to open your mind, open your experience, open your heart. All right, so we're coming back to Marianne. I'm just catching up here with Kimberly. There is something more. Thank you. There's definitely more out there and more horizons and more heavens. Heaven is not a sort of singular realm, just like Earth isn't a singular realm. It's many dimensions, many levels, much free will and intelligence. So there's many applications to soul intelligence, soul fractal, soul imagination, lots and lots of possibilities. Sarah says, if you have time, could you let me know what energies are around me now? Is there anything I should know, work on? Good stuff coming into my life. All right, Sarah. So I was going to come to you, Carlos, as well. We just starting with Marianne. Marianne says, I miss Molly. She died of stroke complications at age 17. She waited till I was in the shower to pass away. And isn't that extraordinary that she waited for the right moment and she didn't want to do it when you were taking a shower? That was your time to exchange or cross over. Wow, so she crossed over. 17's a good age, that's when it was meant to be, it's chosen, and that was her time. So she tells you, don't be sad. Don't be sad about it. That was her chapter, that was her life. She chose to be with you, and it wasn't the first time she's been with you as a companion. So she's done it before. And she said she would happily do it all again. So beautiful message from Molly. And Marianne, where was Marianne? Okay, so we're going to pick a card for you, Marianne. Okay. So the cards are flying all over the room, Marianne. So that card is saying there's a lot that is tied up. There's a lot that is creating obstacles for you. Sometimes when we're aware of the obstacles, we can dance over them, dance through them, dance beyond them, circumvent them, transcend them. So This card is encouraging you not to fear, not to worry, but to keep going, build your own intention, your own energy, your own internal power of focus. So it's not saying that those obstacles are dissolving, it's saying they're still there, but push through, keep going. And I'm feeling very strongly that community is important for you right now, connecting with people. Also, laughter, not taking anything too seriously, lightening up. Community, people, being around people is going to support you right now, Marianne. I'm going to pick another card for you. Let's have a look there. And that is this serious energy, beautiful serious energy, which brings you super intelligence, harmony, and balance. It's very peaceful. So that's a great harbinger, bringing forth peace, bringing forth balance, and super intelligence. A beautiful card of reminding you of your lineage as a spiritual messenger, and here to plant seeds of light. So it's a beautiful, sacred, and reverent balancing of the divine masculine and the divine feminine, which was also brought by many of the ascended masters, bringing forth the energy of Sirius. So Sirius energy, Syrian energy, it's often seen as pink or blue, harmony, balance in everything, and bringing healing to your vibrational song, balancing the masculine and the feminine. So it's a beautiful and reverent and divine balancing of the masculine and the feminine divine forces. Marianne says, I miss Molly. She died of stroke complications. Oh, I read that already. Anything after age 14 is gravy. Was she with me in Egypt at the line between BC and 80 years? Give those cards frequent flyer. Those flying cards, they always seem to fly with you, Marianne. You seem to bring up these flying cards. Yeah, well, that depends on the dogs. You know, dogs have a certain life expectancy. Different dogs and different animals have, you know, different types of dogs have different. I think the small ones often live much longer than the big ones. And so some of the big dogs, they live to about 9 or 10. And then some of the small ones can live even till 20. So it just depends on the dog. And I guess we all have a sell-by date. We all have a date of transition or transition, and that's just part of this 3D realm. It is, you know, part of the limited framework, but behind it is a energy of limitlessness, an energy of limitlessness, an infinite energy, a cosmic energy. So yeah, all right. So you wanted confirmation about this beautiful Molly. Let's have a look into the cards. And the cards bring about this kind of, let's just have a look there. So what I'm seeing is it looks like this sort of 2000 years ago time. So I feel like that's confirmation. What do you see, Marianne? It feels like that kind of old. It's definitely old, something very old, and let me bring that a little bit closer. Some kind of old structure. So it feels like there's this endorsement that she was with you in old times, and it feels like that you were kind of like a mystic. Like life was very simple back then, so we didn't have the comforts that we have right now, but it was a very simple existence. But you worked as a mystic. You had that connection with the moon, connection with the divine feminine, almost like a Merlin alchemy kind of energy. But wonderful, wonderful energy back then, that it was very, very basic times, very, very, very basic, and quite a harsh world in terms of not having the comforts we have today. So we'll come back to you, Philip. I was on to Sarah. All right, Sarah, let's have a look. Clearing the energy, Sarah. All right, let's have a look at Sarah. Just clearing the energies for Sarah. And let's have a look there. Sarah. All right, I feel like you have this beautiful compassion. Sometimes it's misunderstood. Some people don't get it. Some people think it is. Some people don't trust it. They don't trust themselves. And because of their life experiences, they don't trust that that is a real and valid pathway. So there's a sense of mistrust for your compassion. I'm feeling like there's a lot going on for you that is bringing forth success. I'm feeling like a lot of creation, but things, it's almost like everything's keeping you, like you've got all these projects that are coming alive, but it's keeping you up at night. So it's bringing you much success, but it's keeping you up at night. So calming the nervous system is really important for you, Sarah. And bringing in, I feel like you're bringing in lots of potential, bringing in and visiting sacred places. So I've got the sacred places card. I've got a beautiful cultivation card, which is about creating the possibility to create mutual happiness, having compassion for other beings and reducing their suffering. So our task must be to free ourselves from this prison by widening our circle of compassion to embrace all living creatures and the whole of its beauty. I'm reading from this card, Sarah, just to let you know. I will read that again. Our task must be to free ourselves from this prison by widening our circle of compassion to embrace all living creatures and the whole of its beauty. I'm feeling like there's a lot of projects that you're developing, and there's a sacred energy as well. So I've got this ley lines card, which I had before, which is about trusting the places you're being led to, the activation energy. So you are part of the activation energy. You're going into places that are being activated. You're being called into places, which is beautiful. And there's an aspect of you seeing potential, bringing unconsciousness to light, seeing something in the nothing that can bring great rewards, great potential, can manifest real things in the world. So this is a beautiful, beautiful card. According to Jung, that which we do not bring to consciousness appears in our life as fate. So it's almost like there's water appearing in your dreams, and this is representing the unconscious mind. So look at what's in your unconscious mind. There's a little bit of, I'm feeling like a fear of failure, fear of lack, fear of failure. So there's that in your subconscious, and that's kind of keeping you up at night or creating restless sleep. So harmonize your nervous system, draw in the power of balance, of harmony, of peace, awakening your soul to the possibility of accepting all that is, and what Philip was talking about, which is not grasping and just having peace, whatever the result, non-attachment, which is amazing what what Philip shared about detaching himself from outcomes. All right, thank you so much, Sarah. And Carlos would like a card. Philip would like a card. When I was the best friend of Julius Caesar, and his diplomat name was Gaines Alerts Trosilus, gifted in language. Gaines Alerts Trosilus. That's a funny name, Marianne. Are you sure that was your name? Oh, there we go. Gaius Valerius Trosilus. How did you remember that? That's extraordinary. Beautiful, 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 wonderful, Marianne. Carlos is there. Sarah says, thank you, thank you, thank you, Sarah. And Carlos is around. Philip would like a card. All right, Carlos, we are going to pick a card for you. And just to answer Philip, we have the Buddhism Oracle deck. We have the Starseed Oracle deck, and we have the Energy Oracle deck. All right, so let's have a look at Carlos. All right, so Carlos, we have the beautiful Equanimity card. And we have a quote from the Dalai Lama. I find hope in the darkest days and focus in the brightest. I do not judge the universe. And excuse me, a lot of energy coming out. Sorry about that, Carlos. Okay. So Carlos, equanimity. Bringing internal calm into the fabric of your being, into all parts of your consciousness. Picking another card for you now. And we have this connection to the ocean, to the whales, to the orcas. And this is very much a water frequency, frequency of sound. It's about music, surrounding yourself with music, but sharing your song. It's not just about the sound, the music, the whale energy. It's about sharing your own song, coming out of the closet, as it were, and expressing yourself in the world as a creator. We're all creators. It's just some create more than others. So this is encouraging you to share your song and give others the privilege of seeing who you truly are. Authentic creation, authentic showing up authentically in the world. This is an invocation to share your song. And you can ask, how am I being called to share my unique song? How am I being called to share my unique song? How am I being called to share my unique song? Energy Oracle, bless you, gifts. Thank you. So Philip asked for a card. All right, so we're gonna pick from the Energy Oracle to begin with. And they're all flying out again. Cards just keep flying out. Okay, so Philip, there's almost like dissonance around you. I feel like it's a couple of people, there's a dissonance there. So really watch the people you have in your life. Really be discerning about who you invite into your life, who you have close. It's almost like they're not at the same vibration as you are. So just be aware of that. It doesn't necessarily call you into action. It just says be wary. Be wary. All right. So this card is encouraging you to see your life as a blank canvas and manifest your creative genius. So it's saying what you were saying, non-attachments, saying yes, but create something from the nothing, from the void. And your life is representative of this idea. So your life, you've been given this opportunity of a blank canvas. So your life is your opportunity. Your life is your statement. Your life is you. You're the artist of your life, and your life is a canvas. So you are taking responsibility of your creations. You have that within you, the level of consciousness. And this card is just encouraging you to express what you are being called to create. All right, so finally, we're going to pick from the Buddhism Oracle deck for you, Philip. And we have here a beautiful card which kind of connects to all of that energy. Purity, pure livelihood. Your work is to discover your will, and then with all your heart, give yourself to it. So that's the quote. I'm going to read that again. Your work is to discover your world, and then with all your heart, give yourself to it. Your work is to discover your world. To discover your world. So consciously creating, finding joy, harmony, and satisfaction, knowing that the love you put into your work will inspire personal growth. So bring in the love, bring in the creativity, and fill up the blank canvas. Carla says he loves the energy of the energy oracle deck. All right, and Carlos says bless you, and bless you, Carlos. And he says gifts, question mark. Sarah says thank you. And Marianne says Gaius Valeris Trosselus. How cool is that, Marianne? And how do you speak to the consciousness of your past lifetimes? How do you engage with it in the present moment? How do you bring that consciousness into right now, right here, right now, into the present moment? Philip says, beautiful reading. Thank you. Question from a Buddhist Stanford. How does a person manage many intrusive thoughts? So this is very common in the human experience. The Buddhist approach is very much meditation and persistence. So meditation and persistence. So keep practicing. That's the Buddhist way. It's not a quick fix. It says, you can spend your lifetime meditating and still have intrusive thoughts. So that's where non-attachment to the outcome is important. Chasing enlightenment is kind of paradoxical or foolish. So we're not chasing enlightenment, gently cultivating through intentional acts and services and conscious steps forward into a path of virtuousness, a path of light, a path of enlightenment, a path of ethics. Ethics are really important. So that's where cleansing your mind may require you to simplify, to get really simple, go on a retreat, go get away from all people, digital detox, get away from your devices, get away from Wi-Fi. So those intrusive thoughts, that is a current in the human system and what we're co-creating on the planet at the moment. And be aware of that, and don't fight any thoughts as a battle, but be kind to them. So, well, that's appeared. Thank you for that. We don't fight what's there. We observe it, we're mindful of it. And if we can gently let it go, then gently let it go. And, one thing about fighting things is it's a good example. You may have experienced sexual desire. Now, fighting that can be really hard, just fighting it. So sometimes we just soften into it and go, all right, well, I'm going to give that some space in my life. Maybe that needs to come out of me, or needs to be expressed, or needs to be loved, or needs to be nurtured. And then we move on to our meditation practice. So it's something that's the thing that monks struggle with the most, is sexual thoughts, which are intrusive to their meditation practice. That's what I've heard reported most, is what they struggle with most, because they can purify their mind, and then they'll have these intrusive sexual thoughts. So there isn't a perfect world, and we have to acknowledge those energies. And sometimes resisting something is just gives it more energy, gives it more. So kind of just laugh at things and go, oh, well, that's there, all right. And instead of all this type of resistance to energy. Carlos says, thank you. And Philip, we're still answering this question, but we're going to ask these cards how to deal with intrusive thoughts. We will ask the cards directly, how do you deal with intrusive thoughts? Well, what I get, very clearly is practice. That's the answer I get. And the card is equanimity. I find hope in the darkest of days and focus in the brightest. I do not judge the universe. So there is always a little bit of up and down, yin and yang, dark and light. Kind of have, with meditation, you sort of have good days and bad days. There is this kind of that when flowed really effortlessly, and sometimes it doesn't flow really effortlessly, and that's the practice, that's the flow. Equanimity embodies forging ahead with an unshakable courage to experience all circumstances that come your way. So whatever comes, let it go. Whatever comes, embrace it. Whatever comes, be present with it. Whatever comes, be there. And without judging them as good or bad, I just said good and bad. I just said good and bad, without judging them as good and bad. Just seeing them as the stream passing by. It's not right or wrong. It's not a gain or a loss, up or down. So in that way, you're not disturbed by your own negative emotions. So this is saying, just see it as a thought. See it neutrally. Nothing can then spin you out of your calm center. So the centrality of that consciousness is that whatever's happening is happening. And it's when we judge it that we get pulled by it. When we go, oh, that's bad, or I shouldn't be doing that, or I shouldn't be having that. That's what's pulling us out of our neutrality, out of our equanimity. We have Nkatajoki. Hey, how are you? How are you? Where are you? And what's your name? That's a beautiful name. Let's say I have a bit of fascination with ancient Egypt and ancient India, and a soulmate in my Roman centurion bodyguard, your Roman centurion bodyguard. Ancient Egypt, ancient India, and a soulmate in my Roman centurion bodyguard. Amazing, Marianne. I'm new here. Can you please give me some context of what your channel is about? I have been looking at myself as the sky and the clouds of thoughts. Been looking at myself as the sky and the clouds of thoughts. Clouds will pass by, to not focus too much on them. So this is 100% a Buddhist practice. Acknowledging is important. So if you're having a thought or you're having an emotion, a desire, something is coming up, we don't say it's not existing. We don't say it's not valid. We don't say it's good or bad. We say, well, that's arising. That's arising in me. Acknowledge it. So the cloud, when you resist it, it becomes an avalanche. It becomes a storm. So let the cloud be, and let it gently pass by effortlessly. So a lot of the Buddhist practice is about gentleness, gentle practice, cultivation of virtues. It's not about overnight success or overnight failure. It's about non-attachment in practice and not being attached to being enlightened, being whatever it is you're after, not being attached to it. My name is Nkateko Chowki from South Africa. So welcome. I don't think I'm doing your name justice, Nkateko. I am from Africa too. So definitely some resonance from the same continent. I am also from South Africa. So welcome to Nkateko, welcome. And Philip, that's such a beautiful, beautiful message about looking at myself as the sky and the clouds are thoughts. The clouds will pass by, not focus on them, not to focus too much on them. So acknowledge them, let them be, and don't kind of resist something or judge it. Just judge it as good or bad. Just bring the equanimity. Nothing can spin you out of your calm nature. When you've planted the seeds of the Buddha, when you planted the seeds of the Buddha, then you will be calm, you will have the equanimity. The thoughts are the clouds, you are the sky, and the clouds will pass by. So to answer Nkateko, there we go, Nkateko. To answer you, please give me, so that's a good question. What is the channel about? It is here about raising consciousness, ascension. I do come from a Buddhist background, but also an eclectic background. I've studied mental health. I'm a therapist, so I have a therapist lens, which is supporting people through trauma, supporting people through complex trauma, narcissistic relationships, particularly looking at origin, source, healing the source energy, which is often childhood neglect, childhood abuse, and ancestral trauma. So I look at those patterns. This show is about connection, ascension, consciousness, and channeling divine wisdom. I do use the Starseed Oracle and the Buddhism Oracle deck, as well as the Energy Oracle deck. So what's going to happen with all this stuff going on in Iran? Will the people be free once again? So it's incredible the amount of darkness and oppression that the people have suffered from in Iran. And we're all praying for their freedom. They still have to break through some of the oppressive controllers are still in the army, still in the military. So this is still going on. What is going to happen? We're going to come back to the heart, and I feel like America is going to be very active in Iran. It's going to be bringing forth a new Iran. So America is involved in regime change. That's what I get strongly, but it's not easy. There's a lot of perilous dangers in Iran. Polo says hi. Hi, Polo. Welcome to the show. So, warm welcome to Nkateko, and great to see you. Just coming back to you about Sarah. I'm going to pick apart. It's a great question. Will the people be free once again? I keep getting the heart energy. So I keep getting this coming back to the heart, which I feel is yes. I feel it is yes. Can you tell me anything about myself? Whatever feels natural. What would you like to know about yourself? All right, so let's see here. We have the impatience card. So you're wanting everything to happen, and it's not seemingly appearing for you right away. So encouragement to be patient, to build your energy, build your resources. Don't try and pull or grasp onto something without having the grounding. You're never alone. You do have the divine force, but remember to build the force within you to guide yourself forward, cultivate your energy. So very much an energy, patience. And Nicole, anything for me, please? Sarah is sending me lots of ice cream cones, I think. So lots of ice cream, and thank you, Sarah. What do you think, Sarah? What do you think? All right, so Nicole, anything from me, please? And we've got a card coming out it's encouraging you to embrace paradox, embrace polarity, feels like it's quite a difficult path you've walked, and it's like there's so much energy in that, and this is encouraging you to surrender to those extremes, the polarity, the opposites. Hold the opposites. So let it be okay for that to have happened to you, because you've learned so much wisdom, so much growth, so much expansion through that. So it is an expansion energy, but it's like you're questioning, like, what is going on? So there is this beautiful masculine love. So this beautiful masculine love, and that is supporting this journey. It's almost like surrendering to the earth energies, but also you are being led to various energy centers of the earth. You're being led to energy centers of the earth. And I'm feeling like there's a powerful invocation for you at waterfalls, and water, in mountains and places with falling water. Sarah says, no party, celebrating. Hope it all works out for the best for everyone in the world. And sending that message with you really bringing in the good energy, bringing in the peace, bringing in this Aquarian energy for the whole world. So I must learn to be patient with myself. So in Kateko, I feel this kind of ambition, and it's kind of raw. So it's kind of raw. So temper the ambition with diligence, with equanimity, with building the resources within you, building your own energy. So it's fine to seek outside. It's fine to build things on the external. Just remember where your true source is. Your true source is within. You can call it your soul. You can call it your destiny. You can call it your consciousness. But that energy may manifest on the external world, but it is within you, inside of you. So build that energy. Marianne has sent me a typewriter or printer or some kind of hands. And Sarah is celebrating, sending, uplifting the earth. And thank you, Nicole. And Polo is saying hi. So hi, Polo. I love this message about I've been looking at myself as the sky, and the clouds are thoughts. The clouds will pass by, to not focus too much on them. So that's a beautiful reminder. And sometimes we just need a little sanctuary moment in our day to bring our consciousness forward, to build our reservoir, our resource, our inner peace, and express that within our being. Just with a deep breath, just with a smile, an inward smile. Filling our bodies, our soma, our energy centers with love, with resonance, with peace. You create your destiny. You are creating it. That's how you know it. You create it. So bringing this inner peace within us, bringing it outwardly into the world, always effortlessly, not forcing anything. We don't force our essence. We develop it. We cultivate our energy. We nurture our energy. We build the love and compassion within, from inside us. And sometimes we just need to close our eyes for a moment. Take a deep, conscious breath into our bellies, into our hearts, upgrading the energy, uplifting the energy, building the energy within us, sending love and harmony to Iran, sending love and harmony into the whole world, bringing peace and harmony to the Middle East, authentic and lasting love and harmony and peace, uplifting all the vulnerable in the world, the women, the children, the animals, respecting them as divine creations, accepting their wisdom, their peace, their happiness, and their Buddha nature, a nature of peace, being generous from our heart, coming from our heart, spreading kindness to all beings on planet Earth and beyond. Kindness. All right, well, it's getting a little bit quiet in the comments section. Relationship-wise, can you tell me anything about the path I'm currently on? It's getting a little bit quiet, so let me know in the comments. Please do like and share the show. Like and share the show. If you've got something from today's show, Much love to you. This is David Starlyte and the David Starlyte Show, coming to you every week live. All right, so this is reminding you that you are the creator. Stop seeing it outside of yourself. Stop seeing yourself as victim to what's happening. Bring back your own power. So that is you. Bring back your power. And relationship-wise, same thing. Don't be a victim of any relationship. Target your energy. Harness your energy. Build a vessel that you would like to live in. So that's very much what that card points to in Kateki. Points to self-creation, empowerment, building your own energy. All right. And knowing that you can take anything and transform it. You can take anything and transform it. Even suffering can be transformed into love. So thank you so much to all for being here, for sharing your consciousness with the channel today. Thank you so much to all the guides who've appeared before me today to help aid the energy, support the peace of the whole globe, sending loving compassion to all involved in war. And that includes war with themselves, sending loving compassion to all beings. Stu says, thanks, David. Loved it. Love you too, Stu. Stu is there in Florida, so sending you lots of love in Florida. And see you all next week. Have a beautiful evening, a beautiful night, a beautiful morning. If you do see the blood red moon, say hi to the moon. The full moon is here galvanizing us and bringing forth new energies for the month ahead. All right, everyone. Happy March and happiness and peace to all of you. Thank you so much for connecting here, Phil, and have a wonderful day. I'm going to wish you all lots of love and see you next week.